Hey guys, Boston, Massachusetts is checking in. How y'all doing? So I'm just straightening my hair today. I'm gonna put it back into cornrows, but I have a question. So, do you think that at what age do you think that children should go to school? I mean, be left in the care of other people. At what age do you think that your child should be left in the care of strangers, and basically? Because can you complain when you drop your kid off at a certain age, under the age of 5, and they come home abused, physically, like abused? Like you can see like something happened, messed up to your kid. Because a lot of that stuff happened in these schools today, which I call, these where I live is called ABCD, and these child care programs. They're not like the little small daycares where it's only a certain amount of children, a person's allowed to accept in your daycare, and your child is getting some type of nurture. Excuse me, not nourishment, nurture. And I'm thinking like, should your kid even be in daycare? Sometimes I know in my old neighborhood you could put your kid into daycare at 3 months. Is that the best thing for the parent, for the child? I always feel like your child should be in the care of a family member. Also, like, today's daycare facilities is like a baby factory. There's no real nurturing skills. So a child don't have that foundation. Like, that bonding period. And I believe that's between the ages of, 1 to 5. When kids really, they have the foundation before they step in the world. Am I crazy? Or was daycare a bad idea? It's like, they talk about how welfare removed the fathers from the home, but I think the daycare did worse damage, because the daycare removed the mother from the home under the guise of go to work, under that guise. You understand? They say that excuse me, I have seen some videos where some children at the age of 6 were saying they wanted to be strippers, and also where a young kid who was during his graduation, he was cursing out the teacher. And they say that's the parents' fault. That's how they're being raised in the home. And then sometimes when you go up to these schools unannounced, without a scheduled visit, sometimes you see how they handle the children. You understand? And then you got children with, disorders, and that pretty much are from drug parents, which ain't their fault. So they're a little imbalanced. So all of that on top of daycare. I see how free was a poor, it hurt us in the long run. Free food, free housing, which we shouldn't have to have all the atrocities that come with receiving free from the government, because truthfully we didn't get our correct ownership of our own land and our meal. So we shouldn't be paying double jeopardy because we receive, assistance from the government. But I see that, I think that was the worst. They talk about how welfare got men out of their child's life, but in reality it got parents in general, mothers out of their child's life too, because they force you to go back to work. Okay, they force you to go back to work instead of raising your child. And I guess they blame you for having the child because you're not married and your child's out of wedlock. But sometimes you can't even say, you can't even deny assistance when you have a child. I can understand medical because you can't pay for that. You understand? But everything else, you can't even deny it. And I'm not talking about the WIC. I'm talking about the benefits of welfare. And then when they started giving the drug addicts and the people who come home from prison welfare, it was like, it just destroyed the whole black family, in my opinion. So we talk about how, welfare knocked the fathers out the game of raising their children. But I think child care knocked the mothers out the game of raising their children. And who came up with this crafty plan? That a child under the age of 5 should listen to everyone but their parents. When it comes down to it, the last person they're going to be programmed and designed to do is listen to their parents. You understand? To respect. It's like a bigger picture here that I think everyone is ignoring. And then they cut people out from having child cares in the community, smaller little daycares in the community. Back in the days, you could go in your neighborhood and put your child down the street from your house. Small little setting, but that person was caring, their house was clean, and basically, you felt comfortable and got a chance to bond with them as a person before you put your child in daycare. It was like the old lady who was like a grandma in the neighborhood that owned the daycare. You understand? It's crazy, man. I'm just looking at this because I seen a video on that guy Sahito's page where a child came home with 2 lumps on their head from a school, not so much a daycare, but from a school facility, and the parents weren't informed. Who do we blame? Do we blame the child, the children? Not the children. Do we blame the parents, or do we blame the facility? Because the same protocol that goes for us, like for instance, if we send our kids to school and they got a lump on their head, it's mandatory for the teacher to call Child Care Services, DFS, to make a report, basically. It's mandatory for them to do that. So why is it not mandatory when they get wounded or hurt at a child care facility for the same people who have that responsibility of reporting, report those incidents to the parents. Because your child can go home with a knot on his head, go to sleep, and never wake up again. And truthfully, it'll be documented that your child was in your child was in the last custody your child was in was yours. You understand what I'm saying? And you being black, I'm pretty sure you're probably working a minimum wage job or an hourly wage job, but not enough to go in court to fight these charges and these demons. And meanwhile, your whole world is turned upside down and you don't even know how. We have to change the way we as Hebrew Israelite parents do things. We can't keep being the calm person, the rational person, because we entrust our children with calm and rational people. And some of them are not even coming back home. Some of them is coming back home battered and bruised. And it always seems to be a Caucasian, Esau, Edomite on the other end of that. All the time. It never fails. And then there's a routine practice where there is no action taken against, I want to say, child predators, child abusers. I remember when I was young, I'll say 15, 16 years old. And there was this daycare in my project's Columbia Point. Everybody pretty much went to the same daycare. You understand? It was the only one in the point. We didn't have like the little daycares, like mom and pop daycares. Well, mom daycares. You understand? But I remember this lady, Mrs. Woods. I guess she looked out the window and seen the teacher, Mrs. Emery, whom happens to be white, grabbing her granddaughter. And like, these sisters in the point was like so classy, and they were beautiful, classy, like they were the Jazzy sisters. It was like the Woods family. And there was the Jazzy sisters, but Miss Woods, the twins' moms, because she had twins, she looked out that window, and I guess she seen that teacher putting her hands, grabbing her granddaughter, and Mrs. Woods went down there across the street, because she lived across the street, across the Y. She was like, you know what? Okay. She went down there and started grabbing on Mrs. Emery. I didn't understand at the time what the deal was, but I knew Miss Emery did something wrong, because I've never seen that lady come out of character. You understand? Okay, guys, give me your point of view. I got an order to go pick up, so I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.